May our time together be of benefit to all people, all beings, and all life forms. Let us start with a mindful pause. If you feel safe enough to do so, gently close your eyes to help turn your attention inward. If you are able to, lovingly place one hand on your heart and another on the belly in a way that feels good. Now gently take a slow, deep, effortless belly breath. Calmly feel the air as it moves in and out of the body. Kindly notice the belly expand and contract in rhythm with the breath. If thoughts arise, let them arise, but pay them no attention. Allow all thoughts and worries about today, the past week, and the days ahead fall away into the background of your awareness. Lovingly be here now, peacefully, calmly, with a kind interest in the sensations of breathing. Gently now reflect on how this course has served and benefited you so far. Gently reflect on how you hope it will continue to serve and benefit you. Kindly reflect on how taking this course will serve you, your family, and friends. Your coworkers and acquaintances, and all beings and all life. Throughout our time together, if distractions arise, kindly remember your loving intentions for attending class. Being mindful of your loving intentions will help you maintain your energy, focus, interest, and engagement so you get the most out of our time together. We are on lands that have been cared for by Indigenous people for generations. We offer our goodwill and thanks to all Indigenous people, past and present, and we stand in solidarity with you to protect and honor your inherent dignity, culture, treaties, and lands. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for coming to class 4 of Mindfulness Fundamentals. Woohoo! In this class, we're going to start with a brief check-in to see how your practice is going, then do a 30-minute sensation-based meditation known as a body scan. Then I'm going to share with you a talk called Come to Your Senses, Wisdom Beyond Thought. And in this talk, we will help you relate more skillfully to your thoughts, especially whenever they torment you. So it should be a good one. All right, to begin with, let us get out your tracking log so you can report your numbers. I'm going to put in the chat what it is I want from you. If I can figure out how to open it. There it is. Okay. And I'm also posting my example and actual answer for the week. So 4 numbers. The first number, the number of days meditated. The second number, the number of days you did intention setting. The third number, the number of days you did investigations of self-judgment. Or the number of times you did investigations, not days. So scratch that number of times. If you did 3 in one day, that all counts. And then finally, the number of times you give thanks per day on average. You don't track that, so just estimate or give a range. And then a sentence or two sharing your overall experience with the investigation practice so far. So that's what I want from the course participants. For our veteran meditators, you can put in the chat something you are thankful for and what about them you appreciate. And as an example, my answer to all this is 7 days meditating, 7 days intention setting, 3 times investigations, and probably doing about 7 to 20 thanks a day. And then my comments were, I often try doing investigations on the fly, but sitting down and methodically answering every question is really profound and moving. Sometimes I get a sense of release or a sense of change happening at a deeper unconscious level. Excellent. Thank you, C. C writes, the investigation exploration has been beneficial, both heavy and informative. Cool. And I see you did 4 of them. That's great. More than what's asked. Thank you, Brian. The investigations have been helpful to me in redirecting my negative thoughts into more helpful ones. Perfect. And Gail, I haven't spent enough time investigating to really feel the benefits. Okay, well, you did it twice, and that's good. It's a good start. And just like with any practice, it takes practice to learn it, to kind of understand it. So just be patient with yourself and keep plugging away. And Leslie, I haven't been investigating, sad face. My bad, y'all, and I'll try to make time this week. That's cool. It happens. And it looks like you're doing your meditation and intention setting every day, so that's going really great. Keep up with that. Julie, I don't think of myself as struggling with negative self-talk, but by focusing on opportunities for investigations this past week, I realized that there was a fair deal of negativity I had been directing towards myself almost subconsciously. Definitely an aha moment. Yes, yes. There is definitely a thing of sort of, we're excavating and we start with the easiest ones. And as the ones that cause the most negative impact in our life. And as we get rid of them, then we see, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother layer of judgments just waiting there to be addressed. And so this is part of like making the unconscious in us conscious. So I'm really glad you saw that, Julie. And Scott, I found the investigation enlightening in the fact that I find myself making statements about myself that come from nowhere, and I'm sure no one else is thinking. Nice. Yeah, it sounds like you're tapping into that source of wisdom that is beyond thoughts, where all things come from. And that's the wisdom that we're trying to get more in touch with and more have a better relationship with and become to trust more. Excellent. Susan, investigating judgment several times a day, very uncomfortable. Interesting. Where would you say the discomfort is coming from, Susan? And if you're comfortable turning on your speaker. You can just talk to me.
I think it's just that I usually brush past that. And when I have to listen to the voice in my head saying, how bad I am and how I don't get things done, and it was uncomfortable. And I I didn't want to do it, but it was homework. So
Yeah,
I tried to find ways to deal with that. And it kind of made me almost physically sick and
yeah,
made me feel even worse. So,
okay.
but like Julie, I think that if you actually listen, it takes you by surprise.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes we think, oh my gosh, this practice is actually making things worse, but it's not. It's making things more visible, and it can feel like it's worse. As far as the discomfort you're feeling, I want to encourage you before you do the practice to take a very long mindful pause, do at least 10 breath cycles to help you get more mindful, because what it sounds like is you are identifying with the negative thoughts. You're believing them, you're thinking of them as your own opinions, your own thoughts, and that is going to increase the suffering that you experience from them a lot. And if my words don't make sense right now about that, hopefully by the end of class today they'll make far more sense. But just
Thank
do a
you.
long mindful pause before you do the homework, because that'll help you get into more mindfulness, and that should hopefully decrease the difficulty that you're experiencing. Does that sound good?
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. Yeah, and others are agreeing with you and relating with you that it is hard to sit with those negative thoughts. And again, I hope by the end of today, you're going to realize that your thoughts are not you, and they're not even um, they're not you, and they're not true. I mean, those are the two things I want you to take away. And I want you to, because they're not you, because they're impersonal, there's no reason to judge yourself harshly over it. I mean, me as a gay man, when I came out of the closet, I had so much baggage that was homophobic in my head from decades of schools where kids were shouting homophobic slurs at me and everyone else for that matter. And I wasn't out in school at all. That's just the favorite way of insulting kids that was going on at that time. And even when I consciously was like, oh, I'm support gay rights and I don't want to see myself suffer, I still had all that baggage that I needed to deal with. And it involved me digging it up, looking at it, seeing how fake it was and how it totally violated all of my values. But that's the way the mind works: garbage in, garbage out. And if you've been exposed to a lot of garbage, um, you have to, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that garbage is there, but it's your responsibility to sort of go through it and compost it into something beautiful. Ah, yes. Yep. Poor mental diets are everywhere. True, true. All right. Excellent. So, it looks like all of you are getting some days of everything in. Uh, Go pull out your timer. I'm not your timer, your journal. And just real briefly, I want you to answer a few questions. What obstacles arose in your practice for you this week? And just kind of list them. And then how might you prevent each of these obstacles or address them so they don't derail your practice? How might you prevent each of these obstacles or address them so they don't derail your practice? All right. I'll give you 30 more seconds on that. Oh, and you don't have to chat these to us. You can just write them in your journal. But thank you. Bonus points for some of you. All right. Great. So this week, I do want you to try to aim to give thanks 10 or more times a day. I feel like that's a really good threshold. Once you cross 10 or more times a day, that practice is going to kick into overdrive for you and just start making things click in your life so much more pleasantly. You're going to have so much more creativity, flexibility, joy, and it's going to actually help um, create a nicer contrast when self-judgment arises and other unskillful thoughts arise so that you can identify them quicker and notice them quicker and hopefully address them. And if it seems hard to remember to do it, you can always like put your phone or watch to like chime every 2 hours or every hour, half hour, however often you want to just, and then oh, time to give gratitude, time to give thanks. That's a nice, simple, easy way to do it. So consider doing that. All right, well, we're going to move on to our meditation for today, which is going to be where we anchor our awareness on the sensations we feel in the body. This meditation is known as a body scan because we're going to be moving our awareness part by part through the body. Know that one way we show the parts of our body love and appreciation is by mindfully feeling them. It's like they have something they want to tell us, but if we don't listen by mindfully feeling them, those parts feel unheard, neglected, and unloved. So how can we be good friends to our body parts? How can we relate skillfully to the sensations they offer us? Well, it's very similar to having conversations with our friends. When we want to talk to our friends, we don't want to be judged for what we have to say. The same is true when our body parts talk to us. If we relate to them with judgment, fear, or aversion of any kind, they still feel unheard and unloved. On the other side of the spectrum, maybe you have friends who only seem to like you when you're happy. And they might make you feel pressured to show up a certain way, like always cheerful and happy or the life of the party. And it really makes it hard to be authentic around them and show your whole self. So we may relate to our body parts and their sensations they give us in the similar way, basically demanding that they always be pleasant or soothing. And this makes them feel like they're kind of being used for your own ends instead of appreciated for what they have to say and offer and for the wisdom they're trying to impart on you. So to summarize, to show our body parts love, we need to feel them peacefully without aversion or without clinging or grasping or wanting them to be a certain way. So each sensation that we feel has what is called a feeling tone. And this means you can classify the sensation as either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. which means neither pleasant nor unpleasant. We often relate with aversion to unpleasant feelings. We often relate with clinging to pleasant feelings. And to neutral feelings, we pretty much ignore. So how can we relate to our feelings more skillfully with mindfulness, peace, and equanimity? We do so by appreciating the liberating insight that all feelings are impermanent. Have you ever had a sensation that lasts forever? No. It's the nature of sensations to arise, hang around, and pass away. They are impermanent. So during the body scan, experience the impermanent nature of sensations. Notice how they arise, change, move around, and eventually go away. Let this understanding of the impermanence of sensations allow you to maintain a sense of peace, balance, and equanimity in the mind, whether you are feeling a pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feeling. Because your sensations are impermanent, do your best to not resist unpleasant sensations and not cling to pleasant sensations. Both resistance and clinging is going to add a layer of mental and emotional suffering to the situation, while not actually changing or addressing the underlying situation. So it's best to it's best to try to do your best to accept what arises with balance and peace. And if you come across unpleasant sensations, know that this too will pass. And of course, if you can just gently move a little to address the situation, feel free to do that. And if you're always at liberty to do whatever makes sense, whatever is wise for you to do, you know your body and your conditions best. But for those of you who are like, maybe you start with you have a little itch. Maybe instead of scratching it right away, just look at it for a second before you scratch it. And if you have some pain in you, maybe you suffer from chronic pain, you don't have to dwell on that pain. Just focus your awareness on the sensation for long enough to acknowledge it, like a millisecond, and then move on. It's really not helpful to dwell on unpleasant sensations. Finally, just notice, where do the sensations come from and where do they return to? Is there something that is always present? And if so, what is it? All right, so those are just some of the things we're going to do. You can ignore all of this. The instructions in the meditation will be enough to cover all this. But in general, notice this impermanent nature of sensations in your own experience. Knowing that it is their nature to pass away, try to kindly and peacefully relate to all sensations with a sense of peace and acceptance, whether they are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And finally, just notice where those sensations come from and go to and what they're surrounded by. What is it? I'm not going to answer it yet. You just check it out for yourself. All right, so let's get prepared to meditate. Please review your flashback halting protocol or your 5-4-1-3-2 grounding exercise and keep it handy. Remember, if ever feelings or memories start to arise that are too destabilizing for you to hold with compassionate mindfulness, then just stop meditating, open your eyes, remind yourself you're in a safe place, get up and do whatever you need to do to feel safe and in control. Feel free to get into a comfortable position that will help you stay awake. Course participants who can meditate in front of your cameras, please keep them on. If you're not going to be there, that's fine. You can turn them off. And if it makes sense, keep your eyes closed to direct your attention inward. If you're at risk of falling asleep, then it might be better to keep your eyes open and just gaze in an unfocused manner at something pleasing that doesn't stimulate thoughts. And with that, we're gonna get started. Meditation is an act of love for ourselves and all life. Kindly anchor your awareness on your heart space or on any pleasant feelings that arise. Gently invite the heart to be warm, open, and receptive. The heart communicates with us, but not with words. The heart communicates using sensations. Listen to your heart by feeling your heart. What are your heart's loving intentions for this meditation? Does your heart do this meditation out of self-love for your own benefit? That's wonderful. And does the heart's love stop there? Does your heart also do this meditation to benefit your loved ones? Fantastic. And is that all? Does your heart wish well to all of the people who you don't know? Does your heart want them to be happy and peaceful? And what about people who cause harm to others and themselves? Does your heart wish that they may be free from their misery and know their own inner love? Gently ignore the thoughts in the head and just listen to the heart. Feel the heart. Does your heart wish well for people who cause harm? Check in and see. Does your heart's love only extend your own species, or does it wish well for animals of other species too? Does your heart's love only extend living beings, or does it wish well for plant life, bacterial life, and ecosystems as well? Again, kindly ignore the thoughts in the head and just listen to the heart by feeling the heart. Does your heart exclude any life form from its love, or does the heart just love to love? What do you notice? Having listened to your heart, what are your heart's loving intentions for this meditation? Who does your heart genuinely want this meditation to serve and benefit? And if you don't feel you can understand your heart or hear it clearly, then who do you love that you can dedicate this meditation to? Breathe into your abdomen so your belly rises and falls. Abdominal breathing signals the body to relax and be calm. Nasal breathing offers the body many health benefits, so ideally you will breathe in through the nose. If nasal breathing is too distracting or impossible at this time, then breathe in whatever way makes the most sense for you. Allow your breaths to be slow, silent, effortless, and soothing. On each in-breath, calmly feel all of the energy and life in the body. On each out-breath, lovingly invite all of the muscles in the body to soften and relax. Let your breath gently help you balance energetic alertness with relaxed calmness. Peacefully now, let go of all control of the breath. Allow the breath to breathe how it wants to breathe. Continue to anchor your awareness on the breath as I explain this meditation. During this meditation, let go of the need to do, achieve, or accomplish anything. Let go even of the need to do this meditation correctly. Lovingly do your best to follow the meditation, but also allow and accept whatever arises to simply arise. We are about to start a body scan by lovingly moving our awareness through every part of the body, part by part. As we move our awareness to each part, we will feel the sensations of that part. If there is any stress or tension, we will invite it to relax and soften. During this body scan meditation, anchor your awareness on the sensations you feel. Whenever you notice your attention is lost in thought, silently celebrate this moment of mindfulness, then kindly return your attention to the sensations you feel. To start the body scan, gently rest your attention on the crown of your head and notice any sensations you feel there. With great ease, feel whatever sensations are present. There may be warmth, coolness, heaviness, lightness, pressure, spaciousness, vibrations, tingling, pulsing, emptiness. Kindly notice whatever sensations are present. Gently move your awareness to your forehead and feel whatever sensations you feel here. There may be hardness, softness, moisture, dryness, tightness, stretching, stiffness, a kind of flow, pulsing, tingling, vibrations. Kindly feel whatever sensations you feel on the forehead. And then gently feel and relax the muscles in and around the eyes. Kindly feel and relax the nose and the cheeks. Calmly feel and relax the muscles in and around the mouth, in the jaw, the tongue, and the chin. Peacefully feel the sensations of the whole face. Gently notice the impermanent nature of the sensations, whether the sensations are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Mindfully feel them with peace, acceptance, and equanimity. Kindly notice what surrounds the sensations. Calmly, we continue the scan. Lovingly feel the left side of your head, including the left ear. Kindly feel the back side of your head. And now the right side of your head, including the right ear. Gently feel any sensations you feel in the neck. Invite the neck muscles to relax and soften. Whenever you notice stress or tightness in a part of the body, offer appreciation for its service and invite the part to relax and soften. Mindfully invite your shoulders to drop into a comfortable, relaxed position. Patiently feel what you can feel on your left shoulder. If you reach a part of the body that has no sensations, calmly feel the spacious emptiness and patiently wait for sensations to arise in this area. Gently rest your awareness on your upper left arm and feel what you can feel here. Calmly move your awareness to the lower arm and elbow and feel what you can feel here. Patiently rest your awareness on your left hand, wrist, and fingers, and notice all of the sensations you feel here. Some may be obvious, others may be very subtle. With ease and peace, try to feel them all. Lovingly place your awareness on the right shoulder and feel all of the sensations you can feel here. Gently rest your awareness on your upper right arm and feel what you can feel here. Calmly move your awareness to the right lower arm and elbow and feel what you can feel here. Patiently rest your awareness on your right wrist, hand, and fingers, and notice all of the sensations you feel here with a balanced, peaceful mind. Calmly feel what you can feel on the upper third of the back. Gently rest your awareness on the middle third of the back. Patiently feel whatever you can feel on the lower third of the back. Feel the sensations you feel on the back side of the pelvic region. Calmly feel whatever you can feel on the upper third of your chest. Gently rest your awareness on the middle third of the chest. Patiently feel what you can feel on the lower third of the chest or the belly. Feel the sensations you feel on the front side of the pelvic region. Gently rest your awareness on the upper left leg and feel what you can feel here. Calmly move your awareness to the lower leg and knee and feel what you can feel here. Patiently rest your awareness on the left ankle, foot, and toes, and notice all of the sensations you feel here. With ease and peace, try to feel all of the sensations, be they obvious or very subtle. Gently rest your awareness on the upper right leg and feel what you can feel here. Calmly move your awareness to your right lower leg and knee and feel what you can feel here. Patiently rest your awareness on your right foot and toes and notice all of the sensations you feel here, and include the ankle as well. Some sensations may be obvious, others may be very subtle. With ease and peace, try to feel them all. And now gently expand your awareness to feel all of the sensations throughout the body. And then notice what surrounds those sensations. In preparation for our generosity practice, known as sharing of the merits, please gently move your attention from the breath to anchor it on the sensations you feel in the heart space. If you like, you may place one or both hands on your heart to help keep your attention on the heart space. Generosity helps us appreciate our abundance, helps us strengthen our relationships, and connects us with our inner love and wisdom. During this meditation with such beautiful, loving intentions, doing this meditation with such beautiful, loving intentions has gained us many benefits. Out of generosity and love, we energetically share these benefits with all beings. If you feel any pleasant feelings in the heart space, invite them to radiate out from your heart in all directions. You can radiate this energy as a white, golden, or another colored light, or as a felt sense of energy. Allow your love to cover the entire earth and all who dwell here. If you don't feel any pleasant feelings, then continue to feel your heart space and repeat these wishes of love silently to all life, while trying to feel the meaning behind the words. We share any merits gained from this practice with all beings and all life everywhere. May all life everywhere be free from suffering and misery. May all life everywhere abide in a deep and lasting peace. May all life everywhere know the highest forms of happiness and be at ease. May all life everywhere know their deepest essence to be joy, peace, compassion, and unconditional, boundless love. May all life everywhere be fully and permanently liberated. Gently rouse the body by stretching the arms and legs, wiggling fingers and toes, doing some gentle spinal twists. Just help the blood get moving. And then once the body is sufficiently roused, you can stand up and move in whatever way feels good. Just take a short standing break. And And when you're done, come back and just type 1 or 2 words. Oh, well, first get out your tracking form. And for today, Tuesday, November 15th, you can put down, or whatever day you might be listening to this, you can put down a 30-minute meditation on that day. And if you did a meditation earlier today, just put a comma after it and throw down 30. And you can write down any benefits you got from it, any insights that came for you. And then write down any in your journal if you have any questions or concerns about the meditation that you'd like to ask. I'm looking at the time and realizing I'm not going to have time to sort of go over that meditation with you right now. But if you have questions, I do want you to write them down and ask them to me later. I am going to stick around after class to ask questions, and I'll also answer questions in people's evaluations, or you can just email or call me with them. So we can handle it that way. But for now, I think it is time to get going on the talk. The talk tonight is called Come to Your Senses, Wisdom Beyond Thought. Do your thoughts ever torment you? Do they ever disempower you, depress you, take away your energy, or cause you shame, fear, and anxiety? If so, you're not alone. This is a common situation for all people. We believe our thoughts to be truthful and honest, but are they? In this talk, I will share with you how to skillfully relate to your thoughts so they will no longer torment you. To do this, we're going to try to answer 3 questions. What exactly is a thought? What 3 characteristics of thoughts help us relate to them skillfully? And how do we relate to thoughts skillfully so they don't cause us mental and emotional suffering now and in the future? Just a heads up, some of this talk may make you feel disoriented. If it does, that's a good sign. In this talk, you're going to be asked to look at things directly, free of your mental filter. And when you see things clearly, it may feel pretty disorienting because you have been raised to see them differently. So if you get disoriented, that's a really good sign. At other times, when seeing clearly, insights come, and they might hit you like a bewildering, unexplainable, miraculous moment that we find difficult to put into words. If that happens, welcome it. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. And if you get confused while listening, just relax. Patiently listen with an open mind. Do your best to understand, but don't stress about trying to comprehend it right now. It will come with repetition and practice. All right, that said, let's get started. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to investigate your thoughts. So take a mindful pause with me. And if you feel safe enough to, please close your eyes. Now wait for the next thought to arise in your brain, and when it does, I want you to notice, what is a thought? What forms do thoughts take? How much does a thought weigh? Are thoughts tangible or intangible? If you were in a boxing ring with a thought, could it hit you, bite you, kick you, or physically harm you in any way? And yet, while doing this week's mindfulness mission and over the course of your life, have you experienced how self-judgmental thoughts can cause you to feel shame, fear, sadness, and other afflictive emotions? So if thoughts can do this, where does their power come from? Do thoughts have inherent power on their own, or do they rely on your cooperation for their power? Does a thought's power depend on you giving them your power by believing them, by identifying with them, or by investing them with importance? Are thoughts powerless if you don't believe them, identify with them, or invest them with importance? In this relationship between you and your thoughts, do you prefer your thoughts to be your master or your subjects? For thoughts to be your subjects, how would you need to relate to them? So what did you discover about thoughts? It's important that you see it directly for yourself through these investigations. I'm going to summarize what I've found, and I want you to just notice if anything that I've found is similar to some of the stuff you've found. I notice that my thoughts arise as words or images in my head. They weigh nothing and are immaterial. They can't physically harm me. For example, in a boxing match, they can't punch me. But me trying to fight them would wear me out, while not affecting them at all. Thoughts seem to have no inherent power. Their power comes when I believe them, identify with them, or take them to be important. And I would definitely prefer that my thoughts be my subjects rather than my masters. As far as how to best relate to thoughts, we're going to get into that in a little bit. Before we go there, it is important to highlight 3 key characteristics of thoughts. And as always, it's more important for you to see these things directly for yourself. So once again, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to investigate your thoughts and come up with the answers. We're going to do another mindful pause. It's going to be long. You can either keep your hands on your heart and belly, or if at any point you get tired, feel free to lower them. Let's take a mindful pause. And now answer these questions. Do thoughts last forever? How long do thoughts last? What ways of relating to thoughts causes them to stick around and last longer? What ways of relating to thoughts causes them to go away sooner? By show of hands, how many of you could see that your thoughts don't last forever? All right. Well, for everyone who's on screen, that's all of you. Wonderful. then you have discovered one of the key characteristics of thoughts: impermanence. It is the nature of thoughts to come and go. Their lifespan is typically very brief. The takeaway of this is that we don't have to fear, fight, or repress unskillful thoughts. They will go away on their own without us doing anything. That's their nature. On the other hand, the more we fear, fight, or repress our thoughts, the louder and more insistent they become. Thoughts we relate to with aversion may even start to come out sideways, resulting in sickness of the body, addictions, explosive outbursts, and other unskillful behaviors. So we have a slogan we use to remind us of this relationship, and it goes, "What we resist persists." What we resist persists. And that just reminds us to not resist our thoughts. Let them come, let them be, allow them to be there. So rather than resist thoughts, we try to relate to them skillfully by doing three things. First, we welcome all thoughts and we allow them to be. And we just covered why we do that. The second thing is we try not to identify with them. And other ways we can say this is we try not to take them personally, or we don't see them as me or mine. And we're going to go over this in the next section. And the third thing is we don't want to see them as important or true. And we'll cover that a little later. For now, let's look at how not to identify with our thoughts. Take another mindful pause because we're going to do some more investigation. And just honestly answer these questions to the best of your ability. Do you have full control over your thoughts? If you command your brain to only have wise, loving, and useful thoughts, will it obey? By will alone, can you stop unwanted thoughts from arising? If you tell your brain to stop thinking, will it obey? If you don't control how your brain thinks, what does? Does your biology determine the laws by which your brain works? If so, do you have control over your biology and genetics? And now let's look at the content of your thoughts. Were you born with the thoughts that are currently in your brain? If not, where did they come from? Does your environment determine what thoughts are in your brain? Do you have full control over your environment? Did you dictate to your parents or guardians what they taught you? Did you dictate to other people what they could say and do around you? Did you dictate to your teachers what they taught you in school? Did you dictate to the mass media what messages it shares with you? If you were not born with ideas in your head and you do not control your environment, then aren't your thoughts actually a collection of other people's thoughts? Since biology and environment largely determine how and what the brain thinks, is it skillful to take your thoughts personally? Since biology and environment largely determines how and what the brain thinks, is it skillful to uncritically identify with your thoughts and consider them to be me or mine? Since biology and environment largely determine how and what the brain thinks, is it more skillful to identify with the thoughts that arise, or to see them as simply nature unfolding according to natural laws? Are you the thoughts that arise, or are you the awareness and intelligence behind the thoughts? Are you the thoughts that arise, or are you the awareness and intelligence behind the thoughts that can critically evaluate a thought as helpful or unhelpful, truthful or untruthful, kind or unkind? It is the nature of thoughts to come and go. Where do they come from and where do they go to? What surrounds the thoughts while they are present? Is the essential nature of the brain the constantly changing thoughts that come and go, or the ever-present emptiness that holds these thoughts and allows them to be? Through this investigation, I hope to show you the second key characteristic of thoughts. They are conditioned and impersonal. Conditioned just means that they arise due to other causes and conditions. Um, and the thoughts in our head are not really our own thoughts, but a hodgepodge collection of other people's thoughts from our culture and environment. By show of hands, how many of you could see the conditioned and impersonal nature of your thoughts? Oh, wow. All of you still. Good, good. Now, if you didn't see it, that's okay. We've had a lifetime of practice taking our thoughts personally, so seeing them as conditioned and impersonal may take some time. Just continue the practices of meditation and mindfulness, and it will help you to see this. Now, some of you may push back on this idea by saying, you know, I choose the content of my mind. In school, I chose what subjects and classes to take, and in life, I choose what books to read and what movies to watch, and so on. And yeah, you may have chosen the classes you take, but did you also design the curriculum for those classes? And you may have chose what books and movies to consume, but did you write the books and write and direct the movies? No. What your mind takes in from those classes, books, and movies are other people's ideas. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it would be untruthful, unhelpful, and unskillful to think of them as your own. And and I think this is really key, like for what Susan brought out earlier with doing the with seeing these self-judgmental thoughts. They're not yours. Don't take them personally. Don't see it as a failing on your part. It just means your brain is working according to natural law. It's absorbing the contents of its environment and it's regurgitating it later. But if you see it as personal, it hurts. It's like, oh, I'm failing. I like, how awful. Self-judgment will come up about having self-judgments. And that's a unfortunate uh, negative feedback loop you don't want to get into. All right, so another question people might ask, or another way people might protest this idea, is by saying, if we are not our thoughts, views, and opinions, then what are we? And that's a good question. What is the essential nature of the mind? Is it the thought forms that come and go and constantly change? Or is it the formless space, stillness, and silence that is always present underneath, behind, and around the thoughts? During the investigation, did you see how thoughts appeared from this formless emptiness and then returned to it? You can see the truth of this in your own direct experience. So if you are not the thought forms which are impermanent and impersonal, maybe you are the formless, which is always with you and which you experience as an absence of form. That's one possible answer to this question. And if this answer is unhelpful to you in any way, you can ignore it. I'm just planting a seed and we'll circle back around to it later and water it another time. So the second key characteristic of thoughts is that they are conditioned and impersonal. And the slogan we use to remind us of this is what Leslie shared with us last week: I am not my thoughts. This liberating insight that I am not my thoughts frees us from the fear and self-judgment that comes from thinking unskillful or unwanted thoughts. For example, when self-judgmental, racist, sexist, or otherwise prejudicial thoughts arise that are hateful or cruel, it could be very easy to take them personally and be like, oh, I'm a bad person for thinking this way. Or like, oh, and like get more self-judgmental and self-critical. But in reality, of course you have these thoughts. We grew up in a society that for, unfortunately, a very long time has been sexist and racist and homophobic. And we just absorb that from the culture. And of course, many, many other kinds of prejudices as well. People can judge everything and anything, and they often do. So it's so important that we realize that we are not our thoughts. And even though we're not our thoughts, we are responsible for the ones that are in this form. And if we don't investigate them to see the falsehood in them, then they're going to come back when we are less mindful. They're going to take us over and they're going to use this body to act out unskillfully in ways that harm ourselves and others. So it's really crucial that we keep doing these mindful investigations and challenging these thoughts and helping correct them to show them more kind, more truthful, more helpful ways of seeing things. All right, so let's move on to the third key characteristic of thoughts with another investigation. All right, please take a mindful pause and with the best of your ability, calmly answer these questions. Is an emoji the same as a person's face? And a face emoji, like, a smiley face emoji. Is a map the same as the terrain it describes? Do symbols like emojis and maps simplify what they refer to? Is a finger pointing at the moon the same as the moon? Are words and images the truth or symbols? Are the words I use the same as the things they refer to? Are the images I think the same as the things they refer to? Does a word generally change and evolve over time like the forms they point to? Or does it stay the same word? If I mistake the words and images I think to be the truth, might this distort my understanding of reality? If thoughts simplify and distort reality, is there such a thing as a true thought? Given the answers to these questions, is it more skillful to believe the words and images we think, or to believe the wisdom behind the thoughts that can perceive the truth of reality directly through our senses? By show of hands, how many of you can see how words and images are not the things they point to? Excellent. Another universal one. That's great, at least for those of you I can see. Um, and again, if you don't see it now, that's okay. And if you don't see it now, you're in luck because I hold in my hand $1 million and I am prepared to give it to you. See? Congratulations. Oh, now that you see it, you don't seem so excited. Why is that? Is that because the words $1 million are not the same thing as an actual $1 million that you can spend? I hope this example makes it clearer that words are different than reality. Thoughts are real, they exist, but they are not true. The slogan that helps you remember this third characteristic are many. There's actually, you can use, there is no such thing as a true thought, or thoughts are never the full truth, or a kind of rhymey one that I like is what you believe deceives. Kind of rhymey. This liberating insight that what you believe deceives allows you to stop investing so much importance in thoughts and focus your attention on seeing the far more complex reality to which those thoughts point. You start to realize like, oh yeah, words are symbols for something else. What is that something else? Can I experience it directly? Can I know it in a more wise, more truthful way? Our inner wisdom lies beyond the thinking mind. Our inner wisdom can directly see the complexity of life accurately and directly. But while we identify with the brain and believe its thoughts, we are cut off from this wisdom within us. To fully tap into this wisdom, we need to stop believing our thoughts, come to our senses, and start trusting what we see, feel, taste, experience. This brings us to our falsehood category of the night called fixed views or dogma. This falsehood mistakes the thoughts in your head, be they words or images, to be the truth. There's an old saying, the suffering masses reject what they see and believe what they think. The wise reject what they think and believe what they see. This saying points to the truth that what we believe deceives. Liberating insights tell us all thoughts are impermanent, impersonal, and untrue. If this is true, how do we skillfully relate to our thoughts? A right relationship with our thoughts is one where we are the benevolent masters who are mindful of them and allow them to be, but we don't identify with them, which gives them our power, and we don't believe them, which also gives them our power. Instead, we mindfully investigate them, lovingly correct their unhelpful, unskillful, untrue aspects, and this helps them grow and integrate and gets them to trust us and our wisdom as a benevolent ruler. Sounds nice, right? So how do we apply this? Thankfully, all of these aspects are a part of the Bilotti technique. You may remember we have 3 falsehood detection alarms in our body. 1 is seeing a false thought. 2 is knowing afflictive emotions. And 3 is knowing unskillful behavior impulses or behaviors. This week, if any of your falsehood alarms go off, I want you to do the Bilotti technique to become mindful and get in right relationship with your thoughts. If you're with other people when your alarm goes off, excuse yourself and find a secluded space like a bathroom stall. Then Bilotti. Bilotti incorporates all of the key aspects of wisely relating to our thoughts. B, breathe. Take a mindful pause for 10 breath cycles or as long as it takes to become mindful, calm, and grounded. This helps us relate to our thoughts with mindfulness. A, appreciate. Give thanks to connect with your inner love and inner resources so that you can better do this work. For example, thank you for mindfulness. Thank you for the wisdom to do this practice. Thank you for the courage to excuse myself and do this practice. L, label. Name what is coming up for you using the blank is being known format. The thought, I am a total loser, is being known. Shame is being known. Desire to self-harm is being known. We use this way of speaking to avoid identifying with the forms that we label. Common ways of speaking such as, I think I'm a loser, I am ashamed, or I want to harm myself, encourage us to identify with our thoughts, feelings, and behavior impulses. Mindfully labeling our thoughts in this way actually helps us allow them to be there, but not believe or identify with our thoughts or other objects. A, allow. What we resist persists. So check in. Is there any resistance coming up to these thoughts, feelings, or behaviors? Can I be okay with it being like this right now? And if resistance arises, label that as well. The judgmental thoughts, I should know better than to speak to myself this way, is being known. Once again, this helps us allow but not believe or identify with our thoughts. Now this week, I want you to stop here when practicing the Bilotti technique day to day. And then I want you to make a note of whatever the source thought of the disturbances were and transfer it into your journal to investigate it later. But for now, keep doing your investigation practices more formally until you remember the questions and are able to do them on the fly. Of course, let me finish the DI in Bilotti so you get to see the total technique and how it gets us in right relationship with our thoughts. The D is disidentify. Today, we went through questions to help us disidentify with our thoughts. In other classes, we will learn more questions to help us disidentify from other forms that we may identify with. Use these questions to be the knower and not the known, to be the formless awareness and not the forms that you are aware of. This step, once again, asks you to check in and just make sure that you're still not identified with or taking personally the thoughts you think. And then I stands for investigate. Here we use the questions to to investigate the falsehoods. How is the thought, I am a total loser, unhelpful, unkind, and untrue? When I believe it, I'm incapacitated with feelings of shame. It denies my inherent self-worth. I have succeeded many times in life, but this time I made a mistake that had serious repercussions. What's a loving response? I may have messed up this time, but it is not my defining characteristic. Actually, I'm more successful than not, and I learned from my mistakes, which is probably why I am so successful. And even if I failed every time, my worth and value are not tied to my success. I matter because I exist. In this way, we kindly correct our thought advisors and show them more helpful ways of advising us during these situations. So you see, Baladi is a highly portable, useful technique that allows us not only to relate to our thoughts skillfully, but also weed out the falsehoods in our mind and confirm the liberating insights over and over again. So whenever you are disturbed this week, do Bala, B-A-L-A, and do 3 or more investigations this week on self-judgmental thoughts. If you have done them, you have started to see how powerful this practice is. Do them as often as you like, and the more you do it, the more you're going to weed the garden of your mind. You may also want to reread your loving responses periodically. Repetition is important in helping those responses be there for you the next time you need them. For years, thoughts have been your master and they have tormented you. Now you can take back your power. You can be the master of your thoughts, not their subjects. Thoughts cannot harm you unless you identify with them or believe them and allow them to act through your body. See the impermanent nature of thoughts and remember, this too shall pass. See the conditioned, impersonal nature of thoughts and remember, I am not my thoughts. See the untruthful nature of thoughts and remember, what I believe deceives. All of this will help you come to your senses and access a rich inner wisdom beyond thought. Having regained your power from thoughts, you can rule your kingdom of the body and mind with love, truth, and joyful service. I wish you much success. Let's take a mindful pause. All right, you can find your mindfulness mission this week on the Mindfulness Fundamentals page on our website. We pretty much covered the mission in the talk, so I will just skip it, but you're gonna have a new meditation for sensation-based. You're gonna have a new script. Keep logging your stuff and come back with it. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in the evaluation or stick around after class and I will hang out with you to do that. And I'm putting the link into the chat for the evaluation. And let's do our closing meditation. Our time together, practicing gratitude and deepening our commitment to meditate brings us many benefits. We freely share these benefits energetically with all beings and all life, that they too may benefit from our meditation practice. May all people, all beings, and all life be safe and protected, healthy and strong, peaceful and happy. Wonderful. Now, many of us worry about the future or feeling bitter about the past. Next week, we will help you drop the mental and emotional suffering you hold about the future and past by helping you see the liberating insight that the now is all there is. Many people find this insight to be one of the easiest ones to see and put to immediate use in reducing their afflictive emotions and unskillful behaviors. So come find out if that is the case for you. In the meantime, do this week's mindfulness mission joyfully out of love for yourself and all life. Do the best to do the work kindly, patiently, lovingly, and persistently. If you do the work over time, you'll enjoy the sweet and tasty fruits. Be well, my friends. I love you and wish you peace, love, wisdom, and joy. Good night. If you want to stick around, feel free
Okay.
to.
Thanks much, Freeman.
My
Lot to think about.
pleasure.
Lot to think about. It's
Yeah,
good.
thank you.
My pleasure.